Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Juta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavansha Shri Rupam Chakrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tvam Sajivam Shadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sagana Lalita Sri Vishakhanitanscha Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaur-Bhakta-Vrinda Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaur-Bhakta-Vrinda Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama,
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Kr Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Juta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavansam Shri Rupam Satrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tvam Sajivam Shakaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sagana Lalita Sri Vishakharnitam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktivedanta Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktivedanta Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktivedanta Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare
Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Juta Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavansha Sri Rupam Chakrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tvam Sajivam Shadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sagana Lalita Sri Vishakharnitanshcha Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Juta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Chakrajatam Sahagana Raghunathantam Tvam Saivam Shakaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sagana Dalita Sri Vishakhanatan Sham Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaur Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaur Bhaktivedanta Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaur Bhaktivedanta Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Sadanam Sri Gurum Vaishnavanscha Sri Rupam Sakrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tvam Sajivam Shadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sagana Lalita Sri Vishakhanitanscha Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaur-Bhakta-Vrinda Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaur-Bhakta-Vrinda Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur-Bhakta-Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare
There's good ones. Okay, fine. Good variety. So you play and then we get tired.
1 minute.
We will take over.
1 minute. 1 minute up. Thank you.
Chuck it there.
We need mic. There's just 7 of us.
Yeah.
For online.
You want to sit down? Here? No, you stop. Oh, okay. Jayo, Jayo, Gora Chande, Ardika Shobha.
Deva Jayo, Jayo, Gora Chande, Ardika Shobha.
कंठा बाजे ओ मधुर 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 बाजे वदन उजाला Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhaktivedanta Gaura Haribol Prabhu Nityananda Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Gaura Hari, Jayo Gaura Hari. Jayo Gaura Nitai, Jayo Gaura Nitai. Jayo Gaura Nitai, Jayo Gaura Nitai. Oh, Jayo Panchatattva, Jayo Panchatattva. Jayo Panchatattva, Jayo Panchatattva. Jayo Radha Gokulananda, Radhe Radhe. Jayo Radha Gokulananda, Radhe Radhe. Jayo Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman. Jayo Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman. Jayo Prabhupada, Jayo Prabhupada. Jayo Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada. Jayo Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada. Jayo Prabhupada, Jayo Prabhupada. Jai Prabhupada, Jayo Prabhupada. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Bol Hari Bol. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Bol Hari Bol. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol. Shri Gaurati ki jai.
So now we'll just offer our prayers to the deities. So when I say ki, you say Jai. Jai Om Vishnu Par Paramahamsa Parivrajacharya Astatar Shri Shrimad His Divine Grace Shila Abhay Charanar Bhakti Vedanta Swami Shila Prabhupada Maharaj ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda ki Jai. Namacharya Shila Haridas Thakur ki Jai. Prem Sikho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shama Kunda Radha Kund Giri Govardhan ki Jai. Mathura Vrindavan Dham ki Jai. Navadip Mayapur Dham ki Jai. Purushom Sheta Jagannath Puri Dham ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda ki Jai. Harinam Sankirtan Yogya ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Guru, Shri Gauranga. All glories to the lotus feet of Srila Prabhupada. We invite everyone, if they want to sit down, we'll sing to the Shingadeva praise.
Krishna. Thank you so much for coming for the Gora Arti. Now there's some prasadam in the reception room. If you just go out of this door and to the right, there should be some Maha Prasadam for you. And otherwise, I believe there's also Bhagavad Gita class that goes on in the evenings here. After your prasadam, if you want to stay, please feel free to stay for that class as well. Otherwise, please have a safe journey home and see you soon. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Bol. Yuri, I'm so sad you didn't play Murdanga with me. You were rocking it, man. You were rocking it. Yeah, I can't put Kalinda these garlands, so that. Oh, okay, so she was garlands of yeah.
Well, every
Wednesdays. Wednesdays. That's that garland like that Nitai. He's been running it. So he has his garland. Nitai? Yes, he's upstairs. Yeah. He's in charge of making sure it goes on.
For the entire program or just for the Wednesday?
Wednesdays is slightly weird, like 13 minutes or something.
You just chill and help out?
Yeah, I'm just around at the kirtan and then I so and sometimes I help with the mind body soul. Yeah.
I thought it was like a whole bunch of like kirtanias in there.
Yeah.
So is it Wednesday night is kirtan night?
Wednesday night's kirtan night, yeah, basically. Which is nice. Yeah, good.
I love your announcement.
Oh,
Proper.
nice answer, man.
Javier, these yours?
They are. Thank you for you would have been wealthy with that Yaris.
Krishna. Hare Krishna, thank you for coming to class today. I'm just going to start with the Jaya Radha prayer. Vallabha Jagirivardhari Vijana Vallabha Jagirivardhari Yashodanandana Brajana Ranjana Brajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajana Ranjana Nandana Brajana Ranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Anachari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Thank you. Just going to do the Mangala Charana prayers, so follow with me if you know them. Om Jnanatimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Tam Sujivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijna Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Pada Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhavitamscha Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinubandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Ganta Namosate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radha Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hare Priya Vanchakalpa Turupyasya cha Kripa Sindhubhyev cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Okay. Welcome to class, everyone. So today we're on chapter 10, verse 38. So I'm just going to start off by saying the verse. So just please repeat after me. So if you've got the Bhagavad Gita with you, It's chapter 10, verse 38. Or if not, you can also bring it up on your phone. If you just put in Veda base 1038, it should come up. Yeah. Okay. So I'm just going to say the verse, so you can repeat after me line by line. Andodamayatam asmi. 38, yes. Chapter 1038, yeah. So Andodamayatam asmi. Nitir ashmi jigitshitam. Monam chevasmi guhyam nam. Gnanam gnanavatam aham. So I'm just going to go word by word with the translations, so you can repeat after me. Danda, punishment. Damyatam, of all means of suppression. Asmi, I am. Niti, morality. Asmi, I am. Jigitshitam, of those who seek victory. Monam, silence. Cha, and. Ava, also. Asmi, I am. Guhyanam, of secrets. Jnanam, knowledge. Gnanavatam, of the wise. Aham, I am. Okay, so I'm going to read the translation by Srila Prabhupada. Among all means of suppressing lawlessness, I am punishment, and of those who seek victory, I am morality. Of secret things, I am silence, and of the wise, I am wisdom. So this is Krishna saying that. So I'm just going to read the purport by Srila Prabhupada. There are many suppressing agents, of which the most important are those that cut down the miscreants. When miscreants are punished, the agency of chastisement represents Krishna. Among those who are trying to be victorious in some field of activity, the most victorious element is morality. Among the confidential activities of hearing, thinking, and meditating, silence is most important because by silence, one can make progress very quickly. The wise man is he who can discriminate between matter and spirit, between God's superior and inferior natures. Such knowledge is Krishna himself. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pishtaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashkatya Deshatarine. So please give me your blessings so that I can be a channel, a vessel to the Lordship's words. Okay, so I'm just going to say the translation one more time. Among all means of suppressing lawlessness, I am punishment, and of those who seek victory, I am morality. Of secret things, I am silence, and of the wise, I am wisdom. So, yeah, I think before I go into talking a little bit about the verse, I think I'll just talk about a little bit about what chapter 10 is all about, so that when we get to the verse, it might make a little bit more sense, just in case you haven't read chapter 10, or, you know, this verse might just seem out of nowhere. So at the beginning of chapter 10, Krishna actually says to Arjuna that because you are my dear friend, for your benefit, I shall speak to you further, giving knowledge that is better than what I have already explained. So we've come out of all 18 chapters. We're at chapter 10. And even at this chapter, Krishna is saying, now what I'm going to tell you is even better than everything I've already explained. So we know that, you know, everything that's coming in this chapter is very confidential, is of a is really precious. So that's just kind of how Krishna starts off. So then he begins to give more knowledge about himself. So at this stage, one thing we know is that, we can only really get to know Krishna by his mercy. By by no other means can we actually get to know Krishna. No mental concoction, no jnana, no Vedas. It's only through Krishna's mercy. So in this chapter, what he's doing is he's talking about himself. So at the beginning of the chapter, some of the verses he points out and he says, he's unborn, he's beginningless, he's the supreme Lord of all the worlds, both material and spiritual. He talks about different qualities. He talks about intelligence. He talks about fear. And he says that he's the one to create all these qualities. He says that when we actually have faith in all of these things that he's describing about himself, that's when we're actually freed of sin, we're purified, and then we can begin devotional service. So ultimately, we first have to have this kind of faith in what Krishna is telling us. From then, we get purified, and then only is our bhakti, our devotional service, can we actually give it in this kind of unalloyed way. So actually, chapter 10 is really precious because there's where the Chatur Shloki is, the four verses, which are basically the essence of Bhagavad Gita. So after Krishna is, described a little bit about himself, he goes into these four Chatur Shlokis. And one of the things he says is, to those who are constantly devoted to me, with love, I give the understanding by which they can come to me. I show them special mercy dwelling in their hearts, destroy with the shining lamp of knowledge the darkness born of ignorance. So straight after he said these four Chatur Shloki verses, he's given some descriptions. Arjuna comes and says, and his words are, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the original, the unborn, the greatest. He says previously that everything you have said, the sages have confirmed it, and now you are telling me for the fact. So he says, I accept everything you have told me, and he says, tell me more. Arjuna actually says, tell me in detail your divine opulences which pervade all these worlds. Now, the reason why Arjuna at this stage is saying, tell me more, is because he says, how shall I constantly think of you, and how shall I know you? In what various forms are you to be remembered? So we saw in the Chatur Shloki that Krishna was saying, to those who are always thinking of me, to those who are always conversing about me, to those mental knowledge from within, right? So Krishna's just said that. So now Arjuna is saying, okay, I accept all of this, but now just tell me, how can I actually think of you? How can I remember you? What are the different forms that I can remember you of? So Arjuna has now asked this question. So now the remainder of chapter 10 is basically Krishna explaining all the different ways that he can be remembered. So now my question to the audience is, if you were, say, Krishna's advisor, not that Krishna needs one, but say if you heard Arjuna ask this question that, tell me more, tell me how I can remember me, tell you about your divine opulences, how do you think, what would you recommend Krishna to do? Like, we know that Krishna is complete in his opulences. He's got unlimited opulences. He's beginningless. He's endless. So to someone of that caliber, how would you recommend that he actually explain these opulences to Arjuna? Does anyone have any idea? Like, if you were going to be a consultant to Krishna. To someone, maybe a more relatable way is like if you were applying for a job and you had so much experience, you had pages and pages worth of experience, but you could only really give a CV of one page. Like, what would you do? Yeah, exactly. Thank you so much. So yeah, Krishna's answer is, yes, I'll tell you, but only those which are most prominent, because my opulences are limitless. So it's really, it said it again and again in the Bhagavatam as well, that Krishna's opulences are limitless. Just like we can't count the atoms in this universe, we can't count the atoms, we can't count the opulences of Krishna. And so in this chapter, what he's doing is he's calling out his main opulences, or what they're called is his vibhutis. So he's calling out this vibhuti. So just to bring that out, I wanted to do a little exercise with everyone. Do we have a marker? Thank you. So just to make it interactive and so that we can. So I want each of you to at least think of 3 people that you are amazed by, you are attracted by, or that, you think, wow, they have something really cool about them. It could be anyone. It doesn't just have to be in the spiritual realm. In fact, I don't want it to just be about the spiritual realm. It could be people in Hollywood. It could be people in politics. Anyone that you're like wowed by. So I'm going to go around the room and ask for 3 people. Okay? So I'll give you like 30 seconds to think about it. A mix. Yeah. Yeah. Dinesh, do you want to tell me 3 people that you're amazed by? That you're attracted to? I need as many people as possible. No, but it has to be like not just spiritually, but like it could be presidents, people in Hollywood, anyone that you're just like, wow, that. Okay. Wait, who's the second one? So you've already said 1 footballer. Can you give me 3 people too, please? I'll tell you. So 3 people that you're really like inspired by, amazed by, or even someone that you think has something wow about them. And I want it. No, it can't just be spiritual. It has to be mixed. Will Smith, yeah, okay. Naren, okay. Well, I'm gonna go around, and you need to give me 1 more. Russell Brand, okay. Okay. Go on. No one. Sure. That work? Okay. John B. Harrison. Okay, yeah. Okay. And guys, it doesn't have to be in our spiritual circles. There's a lot of amazing people, really beautiful people out there who have really a lot of skills, talents. So anyone. Okay, 2 more people. Okay, I'll come back to you. Gandhi. Yeah. Lovely. Okay, you said Narendra Modi. So back to the verse. So he says, therefore, he agrees to only state those principal manifestations of those different energies, so we can understand that he is unlimited. So he, in the remainder of this chapter, is giving these vibhutis, and the vibhutis means exceptional opulences. Okay, so of course, no one can understand Krishna's opulences in full, but in the rest of the chapter, he gives it to us in a way that we can actually perceive it as common men. So of course, everything we see here in the material world is just a reflection of the spiritual world. So even the opulences that he does describe, they're just a shadow of his real opulence. But at least in that way, it's something which we can remember Krishna by. We can be amazed by it. So basically, he's amazing us in this chapter. He's looking at the best in each category, and he's trying to amaze us. So in the verses before this, he looks at all these different categories, and he tries to remind us. So just to make this interactive again, I'm going to ask you. So he says, of the greatest source of light, not in these exact words, he is the, so you can complete my sentence. He's the greatest source of light. Exactly, so that's Krishna. Of the king of the demigods, he is. That's it. Of the greatest senses we have, he is the. That's it, yep. Of the greatest mountain, Krishna is the. Yep, that's it, exactly. Of the greatest body of water, I'm looking at you all, he is. That's it, yeah. Of the greatest river, he is. That's it, yep. And the last one, of the greatest fishes, he is. Exactly, because the fish is the most dangerous and the greatest, right? So you sort of get the gist of what Krishna is trying to do here. And I came across this verse in Srimad Bhagavatam, which I think relates quite nicely to this. So this is a verse by Gajendra, and I'm just going to read it here. He says, my Lord, this is one of the prayers of Gajendra. He says, my Lord, you are the observer of all the objectives of the senses. Without your mercy, there is no possibility of solving the problem of doubt. The material world is just like a shadow resembling you. Indeed, one accepts this material world as real because it gives a glimpse of your existence. So everything he's talking about just gives us a glimpse of its existence. And what's really nice is that in the purport, Srila Prabhupada says that, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says that a result gives one a glimpse of its cause, right? So even if you were to see an earthen pot, a cup, or etc., you know that there is a creator, someone who created it. In the same way, when we look at all these opulences, we can think of its creator. And so that's basically the way which Krishna is giving to Arjuna in this 10th chapter, to always think about him, to think of his different forms, okay? So now we're going to actually get to the actual verse. So again, just as a reminder, the verse is, among all means of suppressing lawlessness, I am punishment, and of those who seek victory, I am morality. Of secret things, I am silence, and of the wise, I am wisdom. Okay? So what I'm going to do is just go through each of these ones, and just we can talk about it a little bit, about what that means to us and what Krishna is actually trying to say. So the first one he says is that of suppressing lawlessness, I am punishment. So can anyone share with me what suppressing lawlessness actually means? Any ideas? Okay, so any. Yeah, so that's one form of it, yeah. So basically, just any kind of upset, any kind of anarchy that's taking place, anything that's maybe not going in the way that it that it should, right? And so Krishna is saying that when that happens, so obviously when something's not going to plan, there's different ways to bring it back in line, right? So in its very basic form, like even with the Mahabharata, before it actually got to war, there was a lot of peace negotiations, that took place. But it was only when, there was no way out that the war actually happened. So what Krishna is saying is that he is this justice, or he is this kind of punishment. When things are going not the way that they should be, he's the one that kind of brings things back, okay? So when we see any form of justice taking place, we can think of Krishna. So, and we see that in verse 4.9, Paritunaya sadhunama vinashayachishkadam dharma samstapanataya sambhavani yuge. Krishna says to deliver the pious and to annihilate the miscreants. So he is that person that descends again and again and to annihilate the miscreants, okay? So that was kind of one way. So whenever we see any kind of adjustment process taking place, or anything being righted, or any justice taking place, we can think of Krishna. And that also reminded me of, COVID, right? So COVID in a way helped us readjust in many ways. We could think of Krishna as COVID, not only just environmentally, but also in our lives. Like Krishna came, and for a lot of people, COVID was a very reflective period where they went inside and they really thought, is this how I want to live my life? Is this how I want to carry on? And so it kind of helped to readjust. So that was one kind of angle that I saw this punishment and lawlessness. The other way I was also thinking is that sometimes we can be on the receiving end of some kind of injustice happening to us. If someone's cheated us or someone's done something wrong, right? And sometimes it could be tempting or easy to want to take some kind of revenge, or, just get back at someone. But this verse says that of lawlessness, I am punishment, which means that, what's probably happening to us, Krishna's put us in that position because there's something for us to learn from it. But it also means that, when it comes to the other person, we leave it up to Krishna because he'll decide. That's not for us to decide. So again, that's a different way. Of course, if we're being treated really badly and, poor treatment and stuff, it doesn't mean we just leave the person. We obviously have to protect ourselves. But ultimately, Krishna is the ultimate decider. He is, the one who will, make sure that there is justice. And then so I guess the next and the last point around this lawlessness and punisher, I wanted to understand what people thought of the word punishment. Like, what comes to mind when you read that Krishna is punishment? Yes? Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much for sharing that, both of you. Yeah. So, yeah, firstly, to your point is that, we don't have the best relationship with, punishment. And when we read this word of, God giving punishment, we have this notion of, well, we have a relationship of fear with God. And I think in a lot of traditions, there is that fear. People are doing or not doing things because of fear of God, right? Whereas in our tradition, what we're trying to cultivate is, doing things for Krishna out of love, or at least doing things to build and to grow that love, It's not this relationship of awe and reverence and fear, and that, God is this old gray-haired person. But in fact, like, our Krishna is this, small little blue boy with big eyes, and he's quite the opposite of that. So I think it's that when we have this image of, God being, someone who's punishing and fearful, I think it prevents us in developing our bhakti, and we can't, it's difficult to grow that relationship, because Krishna again says in Bhagavad Gita again and again that, you know, he's our dear friend and he will remove sins, he will protect us. So we don't want that relationship. And I think for me, you know, I have always had that bit in my mind, but I think when I read this one verse in Srimad Bhagavatam, I think it really helped me to overcome it, which is what you mentioned, Saras Prabhu. And I'll just read that here. So it's actually verse 7.1.3. And in the purport to that verse, Srila Prabhupada says, the Supreme Lord is equal to everyone. Since Lord Narayan is absolute, his transcendental qualities are described as one. Now, this is the part. Thus, his punishments and his offerings of favor are both of the same value. Essentially, his inimical actions are not displays of enmity towards his so-called enemies. But in the material world, one thinks that Krishna is favorable to devotees and unfavorable to non-devotees. So, you know, exactly what you said, that actually even Krishna's punishments, because Krishna is all auspicious, because he's absolute, even his punishments are actually good for us. They're, you know, so when we're on the receiving end of what we think is punishment, it helps to see that actually this is a benediction. This is actually helping us, and we only see it as a punishment based on our material lens. So I just thought that was something to bring up, since Krishna says the word punishment, which, like you said, can be quite a scary thing to think of. Yeah. So now I'm going to go on to the next one. So Krishna says, and to those who seek victory, I am morality. So yeah, again, a question to the audience. What does victory mean to you? Okay, elation, yeah. Sorry, what was that? A sense of okay, so victory is a sense of happiness, yeah. Victory. Sorry? Coming to a place of love. Okay, so that's victory, yeah. A sense of overcoming. Okay, lovely. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, victory to you is this sense of, yeah, you know, beating something, like this one-upship. Yeah. Yeah. Lovely. Okay. So yeah, victory. I guess victory is quite a subjective thing for one, and you know, different people have different senses of what it means. But ultimately, when we think of victory, we think of winning, right? And so, for one, Krishna is trying to say, you know, of victory, I am morality. Now that's interesting, right? So does anyone have any sense of what that means? Right. Beautiful. Yeah, exactly that. Yeah. So, I mean, the first. So yeah, I actually went onto Vanipedia and I just wanted to see like how is morality actually described. So Srila Prabhupada says morality means to abide by the orders of God. He says that morality means to execute the orders of God. If God is satisfied, it is moral. Otherwise, so-called convention in this material conception of life, this is good, this is bad, they are described as mental concoctions. We must have clear orders from God, and if we execute it for the satisfaction of God, this is morality. And if God is not satisfied, then that is not morality. So, Saraswati, it's exactly what you were saying, which is that, like we established at the beginning, victory is quite a subjective thing. But real victory, as per what Krishna is saying, is one that is founded on, the code of conduct of God, basically. So if we're victorious based on his instructions and he is pleased, then that's victory. Because there are many situations, like you gave the example of, war and killing people, and, the party that's won is technically victorious, but they've killed. They're not actually victorious. It's inauspicious, like you were saying. So real victory is, win or lose. If we're pleasing God, that is real victory. If we're moral, that's real victory. And I think, there is this notion that people think that we don't need religion to be moral. But then where does our morality actually come from? And, people will say, oh, it kind of comes from within. We get this nudge, like there's something that's not right or wrong about this. But I mean, even in just really typical places, like once something becomes the norm in society and we see it happening all over without a blink of an eye, then slowly, we start thinking that's acceptable. So real morality is, God's code of conduct in the way that he tells us in books like Bhagavad Gita or, the Acharyas, the Vaishnavas. And victory is actually to abide by that code of conduct. It's not actually about winning or losing. Not all is fair in love and war. It's actually about listening to God. So, that was one angle that I wanted to share on victory. And the other one, which sort of came to me, is that when we are victorious in life, it's easy to think that, we were victorious because of our efforts or because of some kind of qualities we possess. But actually, Krishna is the source of all of those qualities that we have. He's the source of that victory. And so to always remember that when we are victorious. And even I think when we are victorious due to morality, that's also Krishna's mercy, because he's given us the intelligence to actually listen to his code of conduct and therefore be victorious in that way. Okay? So that's victory and morality. Then Krishna says, of all secrets, I am silence. So this one's an interesting one. Anyone want to share any thoughts on what this could mean or what this means to them? Of all secrets, I am silence. Oh, that's really nice, yeah. Yeah, thank you. Anyone else on? Maybe someone can share. What is the secret? But how can you keep a secret? Yeah. So yeah, exactly. A secret doesn't really exist without silence, and Krishna is saying that he is that silence. And actually, this is really important because in Bhagavad Gita, we see throughout the Bhagavad Gita, every time Krishna is saying that, what I'm going to reveal to you now is even more confidential. So he's revealing these secrets to Arjuna that are getting more and more confidential as you go throughout the Bhagavad Gita. And so essentially, even this knowledge, this transcendental knowledge, is all a secret. And Krishna is the silence to that. So if Krishna decides to reveal that, then that secret becomes known to us, right? So he's the secret of these treasures of he's the treasure of all these secrets, if that makes sense, yeah. And so the biggest secret for us is actually knowing our identity and knowing who Krishna is. And so really it's up to Krishna within the heart to reveal that. And, if we choose to want to not know him, if we choose to ignore him, then Krishna does stay silent in the heart. He just stays a witness. He's Paramatma in the heart that stays silent. But if we decide that we want to hear, we want to know, we want to, engage in devotional service, then, as in this verse, Krishna says in the Chaturshloki that he reveals everything within the heart. And it's only through his mercy that we really get to know him. So yeah, he's the supreme silence. Okay? And I know we're a little bit we're running towards the end of time, so I'll just touch on the last one, which is, and I am the wise, I've lost it. Well, let me just, going back to the thing. He says, and of the wise I am wisdom. So can anyone describe to me what wisdom means to them? Okay, yeah? So I guess we're clear that wisdom is not knowledge, and it's beyond that. Yeah? You're going to say something? Okay. Yeah, no, so thank you for... Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, Krishna says, not Krishna says, when I looked up the word wisdom on Google, it says having or showing experience, knowledge, and good judgment. So I thought to break this up between the three. So experience, knowledge, and good judgment. So, when we seek the elders in our family, and we call them wise because they've had the experience, they know more than us, right? So if we look at experience, Krishna is also that experience because he gives us experiences in life so that we can become wise, right? So sometimes in life we'll face the same problem again and again. Even if we move to another country, we take our bags with us. So we experience those same things again and again. And so that's Krishna trying to give us an experience of something so that we can learn from it. So ultimately, he's that one. Then the second part of it is knowledge. So wisdom is also knowledge, but as we know that this wisdom, this knowledge also comes from Krishna, especially this transcendental knowledge. So even nowadays, we try to become more wise by reading self-help books, but a lot of those self-help books are actually rooted in the Vedic scriptures or from Bhagavad Gita, but they're just spun in a different way. So even this knowledge is Krishna giving that knowledge. And then the last one is, as it's described, wisdom as being good judgment. But again, Krishna is also the one that is giving us good judgment because as we see in 15:15, Krishna says, I am seated in everyone's heart, and from me come remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. By all the Vedas, I am to be known. Indeed, I am the compiler of Vedanta, and I am the knower of Vedas. So from this, we can see that actually of all the wise people, Krishna is the source of this wisdom. And his wisdom is eternal and it's always applicable. So even when we go and read Bhagavad Gita, the same verse again and again, every day, the purport and that meaning can change for us because it's so dependent on our consciousness. So, that was kind of my interpretation of when Krishna says, I'm the wise and the wisdom. And yeah, just to conclude, basically towards the end of the chapter, in the purport, Srila Prabhupada says, if one thoroughly studies the different descriptions of the opulences and expansions of Krishna's energy, then one can understand him without any doubt, the position of Lord Sri Krishna, and can fix his mind in the worship of Krishna without deviation. So yeah, sometimes it is, well, not sometimes, it's hard for us to think about Krishna, but in this chapter he gives us different ways that we can relate to him and think about him and be amazed by him in the material world. And so this is a way for us to practice that. So yeah, I'll conclude there, and I'll see if there's any comments, corrections, or questions at this stage.